Hey guys, it's Lucid. Welcome back. We're jumping back into our game with Ubar, and it's turn 94. We have a message from Kailasa. I had sent him that thing, basically the previous turn when I took the stuff back from him, saying, hey, if you could not raid my stuff. And he says, whoops, in my defense, there's some serious border gore that's going on. That's true. Borders are somewhat fluid. We're getting more Great Eagles here. You can see we're trying to basically get more siege strength. Cast Mind Hunt. Typical Lucid Mind Hunt luck, even though we have full pin gear. And of course, I get Mind Hunted and my Sultan dies. Motherfucker. God damn it. I swear to God, I mean... And if you don't believe me, we're Mind Hunting with full pin gear. Or like almost full pin gear. You know, like, I don't understand how we're so ungoddamn lucky. This is interesting. I can't remember. I think this is a Ring of Returning Sultan. Yeah, and he's just got so much defense and stuff. And then having Living Fire. I wonder if that's actually how the battle RNG happened, because it looks like it. It's funny as hell. Okay, so not a ton of magic phase attacks this turn. Coming down. Vampire manages to kill a Dryad. I think this is kind of interesting, because she's going to do... Oh, no. She doesn't have any gems, so she didn't do maggots. Yoink, now you're in trouble. Alright, and we got a bottle of living water, which is very nice. And then here, we have another battle. You're not successful. Oh, we are. I mean, this is totally worth it. It was a naked vampire versus a Dryad with a bottle. And killed, I mean, she wasted the gem, not wasted. She spent the gems for maggots, which is what killed me, but she lost the bottle anyway. Dryad versus Shaitan. We managed to resist, and we had a seduction battle, and we won. And then here we're successful. Whoops. Here we lose a Vampire Lord. Here we lose a Demonic Locust, which is a bit annoying. Losing Vampire Lords, but killing Dryads feels okay. Here Pangaea is attacking us, and we've got a bit of caveman PD and some vampires. We disintegrate the thug, who would have done murder to these guys. And yeah, get wrecked. And we get his Moonblade and his Armor of Knights, very nice. Here I'm pretty sure this is... Well, no, I don't know. He had a Lich on his side. He might not have done Ravenous Swarm. Okay, this was Life for a Life. That he got me with. And then Centaur's rating. See, this is probably not Ravenous. The other thing I didn't mention about Ravenous Swarm is it kills your own dudes. So this is Life for a Life. A little overkill, but okay, no, this is the fort we're sieging, and we're going to... I don't actually remember what happens here, because these, we lost the, we lost the commander that was leading the demonic locusts. Okay, here we're raiding, we're successful. A lot of good raiding this turn. So far, it looks like we kill one of our own, one of our stolen Marid, or Sultan. So this guy jumps to the back, it looks like, and he's got a Moonblade, and he's gonna go murder all my dudes. Fortunately, he's being distracted by imps. And we have our own guy with a Moonblade move into the tile in front of him. And he's surrounded by imps, which will probably distract him. And then he knocks the shit out of him with the Moonblade. With crazy times we live in that I need Moonblades on my dudes to kill all of his dudes, my dudes that he's stolen from me. But we're successful, and we took the fort, so that's really good. So even though things look like they're a tiny shit show, we're gradually taking infrastructure from him, and every time he does a major thrust to take infrastructure from us, we're normally able to repel it. So we've got this from him now. And sadly, these little insects have not made it from over here to help with the siege effort. We've got 250 siege strength, so right now that's looking like it's a 3-turn siege, but we've got some eagles that are starting to move in that direction. And what else? But yeah, I mean, generally, we're just trying to raid him to shit. One thing I'll say, too, is a lot of my core land... By the way, he's got 3 candles here in this province. Look, I mean, we own, like, almost this entire north-south corridor. And he's got 3 candles in my cap circle. And a place that I've got, you know, surrounded by forts and temples. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's possible he has dryads here, because I don't have a big patrolling force. That's actually possible. I don't know if I end up finding any. We're summoning some more eagles. The other thing is, and it's probably time to start talking about this. This is so grindy, as you can all tell. And Kailasa and I both want to win. And we also both want Pangaea now to lose. And for me, him having this much dominion in my lands this late in the game is unacceptable. Like, I have to actually kill him. I mean, I would be open to certain types of peace terms, but not really. I mean, they would have to be extremely favorable peace terms. Not only do I have a ton of his land, which I don't want to give back, but I'm not going to make peace with somebody who's got dominion, who's blood sacrificing and has dominion all in my lands and in my cap circle. That's just not going to happen. So I'm pretty much committed to killing Pangaea at this point. But it's extremely painful and grindy. What I would like to do is I have basically told Kailasa, like, look, you and I need to both control game-winning globals. And I'm fine taking whichever one. But I think we need to trade each other gems to do it. So either I take Gift of Nature's Bounty or you do. Or I take Nexus or you do. Whichever way is fine. But I would prefer either of those. Like, and what I mean by that is I would be trading him like 300 nature gems for 300 pearls or something like that, or vice versa. And so I basically have let him pick. Now there's some complexities that I didn't know about at the time, because at the time I was thinking I'd probably prefer to have Nexus. I would maybe prefer to have, because you could have a lot of fun with Ubar with infinite money. I would maybe prefer to have Gift of Nature's Bounty, but my Dominion's so shit, like I was saying, it's not going to be that good for me. So because of that, I would prefer to have Nexus. The problem with Nexus, though, and this is something I haven't really mentioned yet, is that coming up very, very shortly at turn 110, which not very shortly, but it's not very far away either. It's like 15 turns. We're going to be having... Cataclysm come out, and that is going to be a hell of a drug. And what it's going to mean is Gift of Nature's Bounty becomes a lot better under Cataclysm, because you can basically take all of your money and spend it and get more land and have more money and spend it. But if you have Nexus, it's very hard to spend all your gems because the horrors will kill all your mages. There's ways around it, but they're expensive, and they usually involve golems. So anyway, that's that. So the game is progressing. As I mentioned, we are going to be in fast forward mode. So in that spirit, we will fast forward. We'll go to 95. And what I'm basically going to do now is we're going to scan through this. There's no globals that came up. We're going to see if there's anything terribly interesting here. There's a bunch of seductions that are happening, thug raiding, vampires getting killed. This looks like he might have cast Ravenous Swarm because his vampires died also. Yeah, he was. So this kills all the vampires. One of the side effects of casting it. Here we're raiding, he's raiding us. We kill him and take his gear. Thank you very much, sir. A bunch of raiding. How did we come out in it all? Was it a good a good turn for it? Provinces we eked up a tiny bit. Squeaking up. The other thing that's important to check is how are we doing on on sieging this. We're getting more troops coming in. And he's got at least 16 White Centaur here. It may be a bit more. And we're basically winding up for a big friggin' battle. We've got, we sent a vampire to come pick up our locusts. I would prefer to not use them in combat, but we don't have the luxury of such things. We've got our eagles. Basically the idea, we're going to be summoning a fair amount of elementals. We're going to be doing Army of Gold, Life for a Life, bunch of Life for a Life spam, and a few thugs. But yeah, that's basically it. We've also got these guys coming. Because this fort isn't cracked, there's a decent chance he gives us another turn. And if he gives us another turn, we're going to have a lot more of these archers present. So that's that for this turn. Let's go ahead and go to the next. I don't think there's too much movement over here. He's got a pretty significant force on top. I mean, it's a bunch of garbage, but there's a fair number of mages. On top of Roos, we're coming to knock him off with just Wraith Lords. I actually don't think this is going to work. I think he's going to kill these next turn as a spoiler. But the spoiler is only really spoiling something that is like 10 seconds away. So is it really a spoiler? Deep questions. Okay, we're casting Manifest Vitriol, which gets you green lions. I don't know how many we've got here. Got only a couple, but it's really nice to have a few of those in an army. Mind Hunts, characteristically unsuccessful, even though we've got full pin gear. Thank you. Thank you, game. Did he Mind Hunt me successfully? Oh no, we resisted. Okay. There's some justice in the world. Losing Vampire Lords to Dryads. Here we actually get a bottle of living water, which is excellent. Here we lose a Wraith Lord to a Shaitan. But even these things where it like looks like we're losing, these are kind of okay. Like here, okay, this is more than okay. I'm actually kind of okay trading a life for a nature gem, but taking out a bottle of living water at the same time is glorious. Here we lose a Shaitan to... Assassinating Flame Spirits is a bad idea. I'm just going to say they start off with these wisps, which are great at tying up various kinds of chaff. They have shock resistance? No, I don't know why he didn't zap him with like a lightning bolt or something. I guess lightning bolt's air 2. He's only air 1. I guess he could only do like shocking grasp or something. We lose a cotton, but repel. Pangaea, this is a kind of cool little raid. We'll watch this. Just super budget. Summon an Earth Elemental. Our Kahan gets knifed, but the Earth Elemental lives. Tramples these guys to death. He did his job. Correct. Yeah, okay. This is the thing I was saying I didn't think would work, and it didn't. Ravenous Swarm, demolishing these dudes. Wrecked. We killed 2 White Centaurs, so not a complete loss. Lost a Shake. Lose another Wraith Lord. Lose a Vampire Lord. Vampire Lord. Anyway, that's basically how all that's happening. So, we have been unable to break his siege. We're sending in more, and this time instead of doing the normal thing, we're summoning Lamashtas. And this isn't a spell you see a ton of use out of, but it's actually pretty decent in a situation like this. Lamashtas, I don't think are undead. Maybe they are. Either way, they have fear, they have life drain, and they're pretty darn good. And because I mean, these guys are pretty worthless if you cast Ravenous Swarm. Otherwise, this is probably the best way to use them, in my thinking. We now have this under siege. I mean, well, it's been under siege. We now have it popped. And so we're going to be storming it. And he can probably bring everybody here. It is into a highland, so there will be some movement penalty. I'm not positive that that Pangaea can move here. But if he wants to come, then bring it. We're basically going to be summoning a ton of elementals. All the mages that are coming have gems. We're going to be doing Army of Gold. We're like, this guy's doing Living Clouds. We've got a lot of life for life spam going off too. And like this guy who doesn't look like he has gems, he's going to be near some other vampire who does. So pretty much just we're throwing everything at this with a ton of gems on all our mages, and we're letting them go ham. But these are going to be the important things for this turn is how do we knock this squad off with Lamashtas, or can we? And then can we take this? Fortunately, this fort isn't cracked yet. It will probably be cracked next turn. And I don't think I have a real backup plan. One thing I've done is I've gotten a few Mount Fiends and we are reanimating with them. But I don't really have a real backup plan if this Lamashta thing doesn't work out, which there's a very good chance it doesn't, because he could move in like Pegasus Riders, which would murder Lamashtas. I don't know. I actually don't know what I'm planning to do if this doesn't work. Yeah, we are without a doubt without a backup plan for that. So let's go ahead and see, does it work? Turn 97. I think we'll try to get to turn 99 this episode. Okay. Killing Dryads, always like that. Here we lose a Wraithlord but kill a bunch of Thralls. And here's how the Lamashta summoning goes. The Wind Riders had something to say about that, which was get the fuck out of my house. We got so wrecked there. And now they're actually going to, for certain, have the fort cracked. Helmet Sappers coming in. Got Vampire Lords moving out. Kill his Vampire Lord. The raiding war continues. And here we have a battle for this throne. This is probably going to be the coolest part of this episode. So get out your popcorn, boys. Get out the popcorn. Let's zoom out here. I mean, gold going off, I think, for both sides. Bunch of evocations coming down. Fog Warriors out for me, which is going to be good depending on what we're fighting. Not versus the White Centaur. These trolls, you can see they're laying into these guys. In the back, there's a bunch of air elementals that are basically distractions. With Fog Warriors on them, they're pretty good if they're not fighting White Centaur, but there's, you know, enough White Centaur around, they're just kind of murdering my air elementals. Bunch of evocations dropping. We've got Drain Life and stuff coming out too, I believe. Some leech casting, very nice, I approve. More leech casting. These locusts actually are kind of killing things here. Okay, I say that, then they don't kill anything. Yeah, actually they're getting kind of wrecked. I would have liked to have had mass reach enough. That would have made a big difference. But most of the kills, it looks like, is coming from my mage core, and we've just got enough meat up in front to kind of absorb hits while my mages kill stuff. Thunderstrike, Pillar Fire coming in. We've got a Marid here with the Moonblade. And it's looking like Pangaea is starting to break. And they have indeed routed. Unfortunately, the Centaur on the front line didn't get the memo. The downside is they're going to kill a bunch more of my junk. The positive side is they're all going to die instead of running and maybe living. So in net, we win the battle. We lose not that much. We lose a few mages, we lose some vampires, we lose a bunch of traff. But none of that I really care about. The only thing I kind of care about that we lost here, the Eagles and the Demonic Locusts. I don't even really care that much about losing the Djinn. The Djinn Warriors. So that's super nice. So we've done that, and then we have a fort battle in the fort there. Just a ragtag band that's in here, but fortunately it's only thralls and centaurs. And they get wrecked. So that's that, boys. That is that. I think one thing I should have been doing before, but we're doing now. This first gate here, we're starting to summon stuff on it. I think we're going to go ahead and start building a palisade here too. Or what I probably do, actually, is I'm probably going to do a 3 red seconds here. I'm almost positive that's what we're going to do. So we're going to 3 red seconds this turn. That's an important note, because that's going to be the center of our blood economy going forward. But yeah, just raiding everywhere all the time. And taking this fort is really nice, because it's got a pretty good amount of gem income. 2, 4, 6 is 6 gem province. Thank you very much. This is a pretty nice province too. Well, it's only a 2 gem province, but we'll be happy to take this off his hands. Our siege strength here is 480, 490. So, you know, we could 1-turn pop this. And he kind of threw the kitchen sink at us this turn. He did have some of his stuff retreat. But if we look, if we look at the battle total from Pangaea's side, he lost 65 white centaur. We have his capital down to like 9k population, which probably means he can only get like 3 white centaur a turn. So this is like 20 turns of white centaur production for him. So, and then I think he had some, yeah, some Pegasus riders that died too, which are like, you know, sort of like white centaur. So I think I'm feeling pretty confident. We're probably going to take these guys and move them over here this turn. And start trying to take these forts again. So anyway, that's the plan. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, what are we doing over here? This fort is cracked. I have no idea what we're doing. Is this like a proper turn? This can't be a proper turn. We'll see how we defend this. I think we have something we're doing to defend this. I just have no idea what it is. No idea at all. Let's find out. Let's go ahead and go to turn 98. We'll see what I do. Turn 98. Ooh, guys. It's painful. Dark Skies has been stolen. Oh, wait, no. Wrath of God has been put up. So this takes pearls. I mean, it's an astral global, and it's going to do lightning damage to dudes in enemy dominion based on how many dominion points they have. And of course, all our fights are happening in Pangaean dominion. So like this turn, how many people were killed? 51 units were killed. So it's just going to be like a steady tax for us killing Pangaea. There's also another... So I lost 2 globals this turn. This looks like the Ghost Ship Armada being cast by Airmore. Kind of hilarious. I'm not actually sure the AI might have cast that. I think we've sent... Yeah, Airmore's AI. So AI Airmore has overpowered one of my globals, you goddamn asshole. By putting up Ghost Ship Armada. God damn it. we've got a citadel of power down here too, which is indeed what I said we would do. And, well, let's see. We get another bottle of living water, thank you. We managed to kill, even though he was the one aggressing, so he gets to choose the script. We win here. Yoink. I think the Pangaea and Shaitan numbers are starting to dwindle. Okay, and here we're trying to defend Rus. We've got basically these dudes with some ghosts, and ghosts are pretty good units. We've got some devils, we've got some green lions, we've got a bunch of mages, and we've got a big fat dream. On his side, he's got a fair number of sacreds. There's probably like 60 sacreds. So we've got Army of Gold cast. He does not, and that is very ridiculous. And you can see we've got a pretty tremendous amount of long dead coming out, and a lot of our long dead actually have Army of Gold on them. Like this guy does. At least I'm a bit better chaff. Got a lot of Phoenix Fire explosions. I guess that's just he's a flame spirit that's running around and dying. And yes, guys, we have, even though I didn't have anything that was there, oh, the white mage. Even though I didn't have anything that was there, we managed to pull off a somewhat epic defense. And we have killed about, indeed, 60 or 50 more sacreds. So it doesn't necessarily look like, I mean, I guess it does look like it, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. But Pangaea is super on the back foot now because they've lost most of their sacreds and they don't really have great means of replacing them. So that is a really big deal. Here we raid. Here he attacks us. This was unexpected. He has basically a ranging crew of White Centaur that come on top of my capital. And so now he's got my capital locked down. So that's a little annoying. And it's enough mages I can't really like mind hunt them out or anything. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get them off. It'll be pretty easy. We can actually, this is few enough units we can actually life for life our way through this. Which I believe is what we're gonna do. A bunch more raiding. And yeah, there we go. So what we're doing this turn, I assume he's, oh no, we've got, basically everybody's breaking out. We're doing basically a huge life for life spam breakout. Like so. I'm not actually expecting him to have many people here, and I probably should have given them more gems. So they could have got, well, I don't really have chaff for them, so they probably are only going to get off their first couple scripts, so this is probably fine. I'm not expecting he's going to stay here. With all the developments that have happened recently, like him losing this army on top of Rus, and with him losing his army that was defending Pangaea, I think he has to basically call these guys back. And this fort is capped, or it's about ready to be stormed. And we don't have, I tried to lock his cap down, we couldn't quite manage that. But yeah, we're going to keep up the pressure. Sending a lot of these Wraith Lords out in various directions just to lock forts down. You can have infinite money, but if you don't have forts, you can't make anything. And, you know, Pangaea had kind of been shitting up the world by blood sacrificing. And, you know, put him Gift of Nature's Bounty, I wouldn't consider shitting up the world. But blood sacrificing and putting up Dark Skies is shitting up the world. We have coming up, he's about to start shitting up the world again. And let's go ahead and get there. Turn 99. This will be the last one for this turn. I don't know if he shits. I think he's about to shit up the world again. Nope, he hasn't done it yet. Okay, and we have done our trade with Kailasa. He has told me that he would rather have Gift of Nature's Bounty. And I think that's... And I wasn't thinking about this at the time. I was thinking I would rather have an Arcane Nexus. Because in time, Arcane Nexus will overpower Gift of Nature's Bounty, because you can control Gift of Nature's Bounty too if you have Nexus. But it is very, very hard to use in Astral Corruption, and I did not think about that. And Gift of Nature's Bounty in Corruption is very good. Or in Cataclysm. So anyway, but we've done the trade. I sent him 300 nature. He sent me 300 astral, and we basically agreed to take those globals each and then continue our war against Pangaea. And that's another nice thing about like us agreeing to do it is we're both putting up game-winning globals and denying it from Pangaea. And if we get Pangaea out of this game, it's going to give both of us a much better shot at winning. There's normally a thing where like, oh, if Pangaea gets too close to losing, he would switch sides and be willing to like peace out with one guy and then 2v1 the other guy. I'm not willing to do that, I don't think. Not unless there was extremely good terms. Because he shit up the land so much with his blood sacrificing. And you can't have enemy blood. You cannot have enemy dominion in your lands in the late game like this. You just can't. So I can't really tolerate it. I don't think. Anyway, so for my part, I'm committed to killing him, and I think Kailasa, for his part, is committed to killing him. Because honestly, we would both rather just have him be dead, rather than like, oh well, let's keep him alive a bit longer, and then he'll turn around and backstab me later. Because like, if he offered to backstab me. I mean, if he offered to peace out with Kailasa and then they would go after me, well, then at some point I get beaten back a bit. And if Kailasa hasn't won by that point, like maybe Pangaea got their feet back under them, well, then they'd have to fight. You know, I would be saying, hey, Pangaea, let's go after Kailasa. And basically, Pangaea would play us against each other until, one of us wins or it becomes back to like an equilibrium where we're equal in power. So it's in both of our interests, I think, to get Pangaea out of the game. And once he is out of the game, now like the very end parts when he's dying, it would be unresistible. We'd probably be willing to, make peace with him. And it would probably be him, because I'm doing like the more critical damage to Kailasa. I mean, to Pangaea. So it would more likely be that like he and Pangaea team up at the very end or something. But it depends on who's getting closer to winning. Kailasa's getting real close to winning. He might be like, Lucid, you're trying to kill me, but Kailasa's about to win. You better join on my side or you're going to lose anyway. And, in those circumstances, I probably would. But the point being that if it's not a game-ending scenario, I think it's in both of our interests. It's certainly in my interest to just eliminate him. And if we were to put up these globals independently without talking to each other as allies, we would heavily jeopardize the alliance, even if it was just like not synchronized by a turn. So like if I put up Astral Corruption, he might be like, oh, we have to kill Lucid, right? But we've communicated that we're going to each control a game-winning global, and we will use that to quickly push Pangaea out of the game. And once we've done that, then we'll have our 1v1. And that's like, in theory. In practice, what will probably happen is we'll push Pangaea out of the game so far that even as a marginal player, he'll be so marginal where he's left in the game that even though he's playing us against each other, he's too small to matter, which is also fine. Goddamn, Mind Hunt's not working. Okay, here we got one. We got hit by... This looks like flames from afar. We have Magic Phase Lockdown Pangaea. We're losing Kahin like crazy. You can see we got some of our Kahin back from our own corruption. This is a ridiculous game. And then coming down, there's a ton of battles. We'll speed through them real quick. Killed this guy. I guess he was a thug. Because he killed 4 ghosts, so it couldn't have been normal weapons. Flesh Eater, okay. Look at this. What is a Kahin doing in the Pangaean report? I demand to know. Here we have 2 Dryads losing to PD. I'm guessing they did Swarm, but it wasn't enough. Oh no, they were trying to thug just as being naked Dryads. I don't think that's how that works. Almost certain this is Ravenous Swarm. Here we have a pretty epic defense, actually. We have 1 Vampire versus 2 Pans. And I think we just spam out Life for Life and it targets the Pans because they have more HP. Yoink. Yoink. Get the fuck out. Power of Life for Life. A Centaur Hierophant with a bunch of Pegasus Riders. This is significant. 5 more Sacred units dying. Get wrecked. Killing some more Maeneids, but I think he won that. Yeah. 5 more White Centaur coming in. 1 dies. Not bad. And we have a big battle here in Tiny Willow. And we have damn near murdered all the Maeneids. And they've routed, which means these air elementals should be disintegrating. We lost some Great Eagles, though. I'm not exactly sure how many, but I think it was a lot. 9, yeah, that's significant. But, you know, we killed 6 more White Centaur, an Ivy King, and then a fair number of dudes. And here we're trying to finally take this throne from Airmore. And my guess is we probably fail again. I've got this guy in front, I think, to thug, because he's got pretty, like, really high protection. And I'm kind of hoping he can just lock these guys down where the elementals kill them all. And he indeed does serve as a block, and then the archers are shooting. All the Airmore Sacreds are gone. This is just the AI Airmore, too. But it turns out to be a very efficient fight. I don't think he had Wailing Winds up, too, which was, of course, the concern from before. But yeah, so anyway, we've got the throne. And that is actually very important, because we need thrones to win. And we're getting into, like, the end times of the game. You know, it's almost turn 100. And we take the fort. So this was Tiny Willow, where he came out and fought before. We lost to Shaitan in taking it. But inside, I think this White Mage was his god. And he probably got Ringed of Returning Tome. Yeah. So yeah, get wrecked. Get fucking wrecked. Lost another 50 troops. And, you know, mages will die from it, too. It's not like only troops. So, that's it, guys. We have made it to turn 99. We'll take a quick look at the graphs. Provinces, you can see we're up a bit. We're as high as we've ever been right now. Forts, we're going to do an excellent. We're taking some from him, and I think we forted up a couple of our own with power of... or Citadel... with Citadels of Power from 3 red seconds. Income, even though our province count has gone up a bit, income hasn't. Gym income, we're actually down. This is from losing these globals, partially thanks to goddamn AI Airmore. Research, almost done. Dominion has been taking a nosedive lately, and I'm not actually sure why. I don't know if Pan has re-intensified blood sacrificing, which is what I'm guessing. It could also be the monkeys have put up pressure, because they've got Vengeful Waters up, and they've been building a lot of unforted temples, because they're sitting around, and it is not fair to say they're, like, masturbating on the sidelines, because they're not. They're doing some things, but I think compared to what I'm doing, they're masturbating. Like, we're doing high attrition, trading, fighting for tons of land, and, like, if you look over here, it's like, okay, they might have gotten, like, 1 province. No, I don't have scouts in here, but I'm willing to bet you like $100. There's very low province turnover compared to what's happening over here. But what they probably do have the money to do, because they're not replacing armies, is building a bunch of goddamn temples. I know I saw some over here. Oh, maybe this got raided, because there was an unforted temple right here. Okay. I don't remember this province changing hands. He does have priests everywhere. I mean, look, I can't have any dominion out here. I have started, like, I forted this and templed it. We're trying to get some more forts and temples up, so we're going to be spending some of our blood slaves putting forted temples up on good provinces just to try to get some goddamn control. I mean, look at this. We're preaching everywhere, and I can't get any fucking traction. It is so painful not having dominion. Not having access to Holy Twos is kind of an issue. If you get off, especially if you get off to a rocky start like I got off on this game. But, you know, the good news, and I scroll through all these battles, in some ways it's kind of better to see it on the map. Like, you can just see how heavily contested everything is here. But we are getting very close to potentially taking Pangaea's capital. We've taken all the forts around it, except for the southern one, but we've taken all the northern forts around it. This army is pretty beat up now, though. But he's also expended everything. Like, he's got nothing after this. So I think we're going to take everything and go and try to knock his capital down. And if we get his capital, that means no more White Centaur. It means he can't do Ring of Returning on his gods. There's a bunch of nice things that come from getting somebody's capital. So guys, thank you for sticking with it and making it to turn 99 with me. And tune back in next time as we go to turn 100. And we're going to be nearing Cataclysm. And we're also, and I think we're doing it this turn, we're casting Arcane Nexus. And we have empowered a golem. So we have the dimensional route on him. It causes you to gain permanent insanity over time, but it's a lot cheaper than empowering him another time. So we're going to risk it. But he was Astral 4, so we empowered him twice, which is not that expensive compared to, you know, like Rings of Sorcery and stuff. But we're doing a 900 cast of Arcane Nexus, which is the max we can do because we're only 9 magic paths. There's our little hat. The Bisty hat. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we're 9. So we're going to do a 900 cast. Boom. And I think that will go up. There's a question of if we're casting Gift of Nature's Bounty and Arcane Nexus at the same time, they have a chance to bump each other. And if they do, well, it's going to be very sad. Because only one of us are going to get it. And I'm hoping that he's not doing a 900 cast of Gift of Nature's Bounty, so that if we bump, we'll win. Because if I can't get Arcane Nexus up, I think I'm basically out of the game. Especially if you have Gifts of Nature's Bounty. In fact, that's something I would have to figure out. Like, if he gets Gift of Nature's Bounty and I don't get Nexus, do I then switch to allying with Pan to fight Kailasa? Maybe. If we both have a game-winning global, though, I'm not going to abandon my alliance with Kailasa. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.